Hi friends, welcome back to the channel, a place where we share books, ideas, good habits and systems in order to live a better, more meaningful life. My name is Peter, I'm a pastor, father, a husband and long-time member of different boards and non-for-profit organizations. And in this series I would like to share with you tools I'm using professionally and in my personal life that help me get a grip on all the aspects of my life. In this series, we are talking about a life-changing habit of journaling, and today, why it's important to use pen and paper to journal. Now, I think both are important, and I'm using both ways of journaling, the digital format and the analog format. But I think primarily the analog format is important to capture the raw journaling, the raw action of life. Sitting down with pen and paper, we are far more likely to journal because we are not distracted by anything. It's inspiring to have something physical like a pen and a paper. For me, my handwriting got much better, but also the clarity of my thoughts. It's said that by writing by hand is the speed of our thought. Now, we might think faster, especially when we type, we do that, but it's a different kind of thinking. When we are writing, we are formulating the thoughts and the sentences much clearer, much more concise, with much more detail, I believe. Let me know in the comment below if you think differently. But journaling with pen and paper, I think is very important also and especially in certain moments. For example, with our morning pages, because there is important to get connected to our inner thoughts and what's troubling us, rather than just writing down as fast as possible something that happened. Maybe we use and we have strategies for journaling in different situations in different formats. I said in one of the other videos in this series that a good way to journal is to separate the different kind of journals from each other in regards to project or the way we journal. And perhaps that's a way also to separate between the analog journaling and the digital one. Because sometimes we don't have our journal with us. Then it's okay to use a digital format, isn't it? Or when we just narrate what happens, perhaps it's better to just write it down on a laptop or on a keyboard because it's much faster. But when we need those moments of quiet concentration and deep thinking, the screen is not helpful. It's much better to use an analog journal. And this can be inspiring. It can be so inspiring that it actually makes you journal because you can invest in a nice journal. And when you invest in a nice journal, it was my experience, you find the act of journaling as something special. And I like to indulge myself with a cup of tea or coffee and take my nice journal. Currently I'm using this one, it's a moleskin journal. That's my current journal I'm using, a moleskin. I like that it's big, it doesn't have any, just blank pages. And I use this one because when you buy it in a pack of 3. So I can separate it along my 3 different projects. A moleskin journal. This one is the simple version I'm using, but you can buy something even fancier than this. Maybe something like this, paper banks. This is my wife's journal, and look at how nice this one looks. A beautiful design. It's designed after Franz Schubert, and it has this topic with his signature here, with musical notes. And you know, when you take this book and you start to write something down, and I shouldn't look at it because it's the journal for my wife's journal, I'm not reading it, I'm just showing it to you, then you get inspired. and you remember great people from history. Maybe you read a quote in that journal that inspires you to continue your journaling habit. And you do that using a pen, maybe a fountain pen like this. I'm using currently the Lamy, a German fountain pen. But I also used the Parker pens. There are many different pens you can buy. Can be expensive, it doesn't have to be expensive. I thoroughly enjoy to use also a normal pencil. I think it's very nice to also doodle around in my journal. So using pen and paper, a nice journal and nice writing tools are inspiring. They are, for me, an inspiring way to get into the habit of journaling, to keep journaling. And I don't know about you, but what I also experience by writing by hand on paper is that I remember far better what I wrote. When I look back through my journals, not all pages, but most pages, I recognize their format. I remember it in a vivid way, how I took that note, or what it meant, or what I thought when I structured it like that. I don't know why it's happening. Maybe you have an explanation to that. Let me know in a comment below if you do. But that's my experience, that journaling with pen and paper is genuinely easier to remember what I wrote, what I was thinking in that moment. It doesn't happen in the same way when I write digitally. Writing with pen and paper, I also feel a sense of freedom to do so, because when I journal online, I usually either write or I need to open a different app, have an Apple Pen, and then I can dot. But when I do that in a journal, I can do both in a free way. I can start somewhere else, I can write an idea in a corner, I can underline something, or when I go a second try into that journal, then I underline some things. I experience a sense of freedom using my hands. And it's also, that's a last thought, very tactile. No, it's not just out in the cloud. It's very physical. So you have the feeling, I have the feeling that writing in my journal, I produce something. You know, when you work with wood, or when you go into the garden and you do something there, that's very tactile. You know you did something. And I have the same feeling with pen and paper. Writing down in my journal, I have the sense that I did something that's real. Doing it only digitally, I oftentimes have the feeling that, I do a work that does not exist actually. It somehow is just somewhere. And if it disappears from there, it disappeared from the world, but not in this way. This way it is in the world. My thoughts, my handwriting. I'm very passionate about writing with pen and paper, and I think everyone should. Thanks for watching. Hope this video is helpful. See you in our last session about journaling, when we talk about digital tools. And I just want to draw your attention to the Notion templates in regards to journaling that I link below. I'm a Notion user. You should use Notion, if not for anything else, then just for this channel, and for all the exercises that I will share, you will find them in a Notion format. And if you want to support this work, you can do that too in a link below. Thanks for watching. See you next time.